unmute yourself. Let me know.
Really good.
Is right.
It was amazing.
They're pretty sharp, those guys, aren't they?
They are.
Yep. And so yeah,
Especially
we'll be
the
doing
guy in the top corner.
That's just rumor. Don't believe everything you think. No, it's funny. I've always said that the best thing that I learned in my career is I always had the most success based on not my ideas, and I'm an idea guy, but based on my relationships that I had. That always led to the opportunity. And the CRM, I think, is one of those examples that no matter how good my vision or ideas for CRM, it's the relationships that make those things happen. And that's something I only say to, because something I think you can carry on, or maybe you already know that in your own businesses. That those are the things that, ideas come and go, but relationships, they can. This one I have with him is with more than 20 years. The one I have with Harry, 30 years, right? Just because relationships are longer doesn't mean they're the best, right? I'm saying we have relationships here with new people that I've just met recently that you feel like you know you're going to know them for the next 30 years and 20 years, and they become just as valuable as well. So
you're going to have to do a good job, because I got my brother-in-law on today, and he never likes any of my ideas. So you better make a good job today, okay?
All right, it's the brother-in-law demo today. Okay.
This could be the one, Al. I've been waiting for 40 years. This could be the one.
All right, I feel the pressure.
No pressure, Steve.
He's due.
All right. So because it's the brother-in-law demo, right? I'll take it from the top, today. But does anyone have anything else that they want to make sure that I include as I go through it? As I always say to everyone, feel free to interrupt me, at any time before I start or once I'm started, because this experience really is for you.
Okay, so here, let me give you a question. I want to do it the other day, but we were really busy. But on Tuesday, I had my hip replaced, okay? And the next day, I finally got to talk to the surgeon. And while we're sitting there yapping, I says, I got a couple of good ideas here you might like, because obviously this was one of them. And because I asked him if he's doing Zooms, and he says, yeah, but usually just a few doctors. So what I was looking for, what do you think the key points were? Because I'm going to email him back and say, this is why a doctor would want to use Pxch.
Okay, well, let me show you one thing that I think at least will become closest to relating to him. Hold on a second here, that we have in our communication center, in our back office. Let me pop this one open and I'll play it. Hold on a second. Let me now share a screen and play that. And this is the advantage of the 1-minute videos, even though it's not necessarily particular for him, but it's in his family, so to speak. So let me just play this.
Good afternoon. Thank you for reaching out to PlushCare. You are just a tap away from speaking with one of our top trusted care doctors. By booking an appointment right here in our interactive video, we can confirm an appointment in seconds, and most of our patients can get the help they need all in the same day. With more than 1 million patients and a 4.9-star rating, I want you to know you are in the right place. And in case you are concerned, we do take most major insurance plans, but it is not a requirement for us to give you the help you need. So book an appointment right now, and we will see you shortly.
So it's not necessarily have to be a booking appointment, but all I know is every time I make an appointment with the doctor, I get 4 texts, 3 emails, 2 phone calls, making sure I'm confirming my appointment, right? So how could someone personalize that to you? Again, nothing to do necessarily with a webinar. I'm saying he probably does a lot of Zooms, where he speaks to patients, and we will have one of those, compliant platforms for this as soon as we get through our final launch. So again, a lot of use cases. So my point is there's one to make his office run more effectively, which is always an issue in medical practices. And there's another one to make him be more effective with his time. And so I would approach it from both of those areas, if that helps a little bit. Denise, before I get started, I saw that you raised your hand. You're on mute, Denise. Sorry.
I'm still really uncomfortable with the links. So if I send out my link for a meeting, it will work. I've never done it. Or do I
Oh,
use
you've
yours?
never done it? Yeah. You know what we should do? Send me one, right? You have my email, right? Steve at mypitch.com. Yeah. Just send me one. Give me a little
Okay.
heads up, and
Okay.
no better proof than it
I'm just
happening,
trying
right?
to figure out what to do for tomorrow's demo, if I use yours or mine. It's like,
Well,
I-
I think we set it up. I think we should use mine because I'm going to be doing the demo, so it's just easier.
all right. And then I can stay on afterwards and use it
Correct.
for.
And it's the same,
Okay.
and it's the same link as this one.
Okay, I'll just copy this one for tomorrow. I'm not going to do it, but I will do it as a separate because I
All
don't
right.
trust my
Okay.
technical.
Let me, anyone else have any other questions or thoughts before I do my brother-in-law pitch? Okay. All right. So let me get started, right? And so Al, since I don't know what you tell him in terms of who we are and what crazy cult you got involved with, so let me make sure he knows that before I start the demo. I was the CEO of 3 different international sales and marketing companies for about 25 years, 30 years or so. Did about $4 billion in sales, selling virtually every single product known to man during those periods of time. And then after I sold my last company, I became a consultant to my old competitors so I can get even with them one more time, and enjoyed that probably more than my 25 years. And then I opened up a technology company to be a better consultant. During that period of time, Mary Kay actually was my #1 client at the time, with about 3.1 million independent sales distributors around the world. And I built what was called their Great Start app. So every single Mary Kay distributor, when they joined the company, they went through their first 90 days through our technology. So I was very proud of that experience. And Zoom got wind of that, and they came to me and said, well, if you know Mary Kay, you probably know everyone else in the industry. And they wanted to go public. And so they were trying to get as much market share as possible. So they allowed me to build them a unique solution for the vertical that I understood so well. And I became the largest ISV partner to Zoom in the world for about 4.5 years, which is a fancy way of saying I brought them more customers than anyone else beside themselves. And then here's my brother-in-law moment, where you're going to tell me after this demo whether I was arrogant or ignorant, where I go to Zoom and I say, I think there's ways to do it better. And I said, I've seen 1 million Zooms. And I said, every single time someone makes their best presentation in their best moment, absolutely nothing happens because it can't. They can't touch the screen. They can't enroll in a product. They can't sign a DocuSign contract. They can't show real estate properties. They can't have someone sign up in a State Farm insurance program. I'm saying whatever that call to action is, whether it's one-to-one or one-to-many, the one common denominator among all of those experiences is nothing happens. So Zoom liked the idea, but the timing wasn't right. And so I ended up competing with them instead of partnering them. And that's how we got, here today. And so the #1 experience that we started with, let me see if I could bring this up. Sorry, I'm in a third world country today and the Wi-Fi has been really, really bad. So hopefully the website will come up today. Someone answer that phone, please. Sorry. Let me put that person on mute, hopefully. Okay. So Adriana, I don't know if that was yours, but I'm going to try to keep you on mute in case it was. And you can feel free to ask a question later in that side. Okay. And so again, hopefully the Wi-Fi is cooperating with me, but our #1 experience, whether it be 1-to-1 or 1-to-600, is that anyone in the privacy of this webinar should be able to take their mouse, their phone, their iPad, and actually type in their own zip code and no one else can see. It's that simple, completely interactive. And at any time I want as the host, I could take control of the screen back because I may not want you to have access to the screen until I'm ready for you to have that experience. So the magic is I'm in control, you're in control, or we can just go back to a normal webinar. So that is the reason we're here. And I say that because if you're not impressed with that, whatever comes afterwards probably isn't going to excite you either. But let me tell you what has come after that initial technological breakthrough. and it is a breakthrough. So the second thing is, it's not easy. I'm saying to herd the cats and get everyone on a live webinar at the same time. So it was important for us to figure out how we can do the same thing in a recording. So if you couldn't be here today, I could still bring up the websites, I could still turn the pages, and I can still make it interactive. So not only did we transform the 550 million people that are getting on a live webinar every day who can't take action, the 100 millions more that watch a replay or recording, we can make that interactive too. So we thought we were pretty good at that. And then we thought, if we can record it, we can now create something else that doesn't exist in the marketplace. Interactive text, where you watch a video and can still touch the website. Interactive emails, interactive social media, live broadcasting. So we went from Zoom with a buy button to what we call a touchpoint platform. That simple. So whether you're 25 or 55, whether you're social media savvy or old school webinar or email, and just so you know, there's 400 billion emails that get sent every day. 100 billion actually still get open. So don't necessarily knock that emails aren't effective anymore. We can create an experience that virtually no one else in the world can, right? So that's our number one experience to be able to do that. Any questions on that for anybody, in case you're brand new and that kind of went, maybe I went a little too fast for you. I just wanted you to know, take a pause. And if not, then I'm going to go up to our next step where I'm actually going to show you how easy it is to do. Because the one thing I learned, no matter how great the features are, if you're not comfortable doing it, you're not going to do it. I'd rather stay with the technology that I'm familiar with than actually try something that gets me out of my comfort zone. So if you did decide to move forward after this meeting today and you'd want to know, well, what's involved with that? Well, first thing you're going to do is pick a plan. They go from $25 to $99 a month. So it's priced similar to Zoom, in that perspective. And then the first thing you could do to see if you're comfortable is literally start a meeting. And so if you can turn it on, you're halfway there. And I'm just going to turn it on now. Let me do that. Okay. And now I'm in the meeting all by myself, which means I can make mistakes and no one else knows. And I could see if this is something that I'm capable of doing. So without watching a tutorial or listening to me, you notice the buttons on the bottom are fairly comfortable, fairly familiar. Kind of feels like Zoom or Google Meets. Microphone, on and off. Camera, on and off. Record button, on and off. Settings is a little more complicated, so hold off on that one for a second. Speech. One of the things that we can do that no other company I'm aware of can do is actually real-time international voice translations, that you can actually choose up to 42 languages at the same time if you're a guest, and you don't have to be speaking mine. And as a host, all you have to do is literally click on translation, hit start, and every single guest on the phone call can now choose among 42 different languages to hear me in. And if they're speaking 42 languages to me, I'll hear them in English or the language that I choose. So one of the sexiest, right, transformational features that you go, well, can I do it? If you can push a button, you can do it at Pxch. It's that simple, right? Next perspective, right? If you're familiar with Zoom and Google Meet, then you certainly are familiar with screen sharing. And ours is absolutely no different, right? You hit screen share, you can pick a tab, you can pick a window, and you share a screen the way that you always did. And especially if there's a video involved, you want to make sure that the audio is on. Same thing as Zoom and Google Meets, right? Absolutely no difference. Is they can watch, they can listen, but they can't touch, right? But where we go one step further across, the feature I just showed you with State Farm Insurance, for instance, is, again, incredibly simple to use. How did I do that? I hit the share button, which is kind of like you notice the on button, okay? On and off. That's simple. I can also shut it off here. And even though that picture looks like it gets smaller to the audience, it's exactly the same. Now, every single time I bring up a website, I hit save, so it becomes my own personal browser, so I never have to type it in again. So I literally can just hit that button, and make it happen. But since this theoretically is your first time, you literally can just type it in, www.statefarm.com. And I could bring it up where I'm in charge, or I can bring it up where my guests can touch the screen. And what's even better is right now you see I'm in charge. It says standard. To make it interactive, this is how hard we made it. It's interactive. And I can toggle back and forth between my guest, allowing my guest to have control, I'm in control, or let's just talk. So our two, what I would say again, most innovative and transformative features, right? Translation, and share it in a website for up to 600 people at the same time. Done. That simple. The other thing that you notice, like sometimes people were making noise on the call today. So what I always do is I have my people button set open, and you'll see all my guests that would be lined up here. And I can mute everyone where they can unmute themselves. I can mute everyone where they can unmute themselves. I can ask people to leave without their permission. I'm saying I could do anything I want in those controls so I can control the experience and the meeting. The other thing that I can do is, especially if you're used to doing a lot of meetings, and like today, you notice how we all get on, we all know each other, we say hello, we have that energy, sometimes where you're from, we kid around, but now it's presentation time. And so I don't want anyone on the screen with me, or I don't want anyone to be able to talk at all no matter what. So I'm going to turn it into a webinar instantaneously. I click on settings, I click on webinar, and I start webinar mode, and then everyone is gone. And now it's just me, my content, and maybe a co-host or speaker that I chose. Meeting, my presentation ends. I want to invite everyone back because we want questions. I literally hit settings, I turn off the webinar mode, and everyone comes back. So you see what I meant is I'm trying to show you this because I just don't want you to think that you sign up and you're going to be in tutorial land for the rest of your life, figuring out how to do all of these things. So that's really kind of the highlights. And you see, I showed that probably in about 5 or 6 minutes, right? So let me end this meeting, okay? And let me kind of show you the back office for a second, because that's where you can kind of do some cool things in that perspective. So now let me go back to screen share. Let me go back to my tab. And now I'm showing the back office, okay? So when I played that 1-minute video of telehealth, it was right in my communication center. This is what I mean. We have about 10 one-minute videos that goes from car dealerships to pastors to human resource people to people who want to sign DocuSign contracts, people who have affiliate marketing, network marketing. So everyone can easily just watch a 1-minute video and understand how this can be effective for them. The other thing that when I played that avatar, you may go, how do I create it? How hard is it to do? Well, you simply go to the avatar studio. Let it come up here in a second. Hit that refresh, come on. There it goes. And so there's a lot of great avatar companies out there, HeyGen, Synthesia, Acool, a whole bunch of them. And the only problem with them is they're very hard to use. So most people, if you're not a marketing agency, you're not going to pay $100 a month and not figure out how to make your first avatar. So with us, we made a very simple process. All you do is you select a picture, which you upload from your computer, whatever that may be. You type a script or you cheat with ChatGPT, whatever that script may be. You hit the AI Enhance button because this actually will connect your script to that picture and create all the natural movements that make ours so incredibly unique. And that's why we are considered best in class in creating this. And I can show you some further examples of that. And then the second thing is your voice, right? All you have to do is hit clone your own voice, speak for 30 seconds, and you're done. And then after you do that, you're going to have picture, script, voice. We have the ability in our system to add interactive websites. And you can literally watch the video and then at the 10-second mark, 20-second mark, decide what URL and what page, what product, what service you want to show at that time. And so But to show you how, if one thing to see an AI avatar of me, right? I do want to show you kind of just for a few seconds, if you've never seen this, to go, how good are we? Just watch a few seconds of this.
Well, here we go again. I'm glad to be invited here with you to share a few moments and perspectives with all of you in this rapidly changing world. A world, from what I can see, that is also being rapidly changed by Pxch. As you get older, and I promise you will, perspective is the one area where age is not a liability, but an expertise. When I was running for office, I stopped worrying about what people thought about my age after Thomas Jefferson told me that a president should be judged by their work and not by their age.
So as you can see, whether it be Ronald Reagan or let me see if I'm sorry, I don't have my Taco Tuesday up for you, but you could just see there's a lot of potential possibilities on how you can take advantage of this technology, right? So I know that people can only absorb so much information at hello, and I know that I go pretty quick, but if I was going to summarize what I just showed, right, is, as I say, whether you do live webinars, recorded webinars, whether you do text, emails, broadcast to social media, whether you want to speak in 3 different languages at the same time, live or recorded, whether you want to work with a sales team, you can create multiple invite links to the same meeting, and it'll track their customers, and it'll actually track their sales that they make on websites. So right now, I'd say to you, to your brother-in-law, you're seeing something that doesn't exist in the marketplace anywhere else in the world. And when you're in the technology business, that doesn't happen very often. And it won't be forever. There's people that will cherry pick features off and do certain things. But as some people like to say, you're in the garage. And there's some famous garages that people have been in technology that ended up being on the block, being on the neighborhood, and being in the world. And that's why I think people are authentically excited. And I'm saying we're not comparing ourselves to Apple or Steve Jobs, even though I'm making a garage joke. But I will say to you, I honestly, authentically believe that we're as transformational as when the Motorola flip phone was the #1 phone in the world, and all it could do is make a phone call and send a text. And the world was happy with it, right? They all thought they were like Star Trek, Captain Kirk. They had their Motorola flip phone. And then Steve Jobs comes along and he says, one day your phone is going to be the best camera in the world. It's going to be where you check the emails and go to the internet. It's going to measure your furniture, check your heart blood pressure. And just so you know, for 3 years, no one thought it was a good idea except him. And then 3 years after that, the Motorola flip phone is in the Smithsonian. So that's technology, right? But what's great about our technology too, is if you are in the insurance business, you are in the real estate business, you are in a network marketing company, whatever company you're in, medical office, our technology is not designed for you to stop doing what you're doing and go look at us. Our technology is designed to make your business better. That's right, your business better, not ours. But what will happen invariably, and I do believe this is also transformational, we're the only technology platform that when you are selling your primary business and you've got 25, 30 people on, every single time you make that screen interactive, somebody's going to ask you, excuse me a second, I don't mean to interrupt. What technology is this? I've never seen this before, and I could use this in my business. That doesn't happen with Zoom. It doesn't happen with Salesforce.com. It happens at Pxch. And so that's where these trainings, right, are really as much about how to do it, but why to do it, enlighten it, and why helping you, that I think other people will do it. And we had an earlier training today as we're introducing, probably by next week, or at least by the end of the month, our CRM. And our CRM, again, is just to help our company do this better. Because what we think is every event is 3 steps. What happens before the event, what happens during the event, what happens after the event. And that's where CRM could really help you do that. So that's my brother-in-law pitch. Either thank him now or be mad at me. It's your choice, either one. Is there any other questions that I could answer for anyone today? We did good?
Come on, Larry, you must have a good question you want to ask him.
Well, it's an interesting project. It's not suitable for what we do, unfortunately, because it's dealing with a group of people, whereas what we do would be, pitching one-to-one senior, C-level executives. We wouldn't be doing webinars, so it's not really a suitable thing. But I can see that it has some great advantages for the right
So,
customer.
Larry-
it's always about
Yeah.
pitching to
No,
the right
Larry-
customer, right?
Let me say this to you, right? I once did a presentation for a Fortune 100 C-level executive, right?
Yep.
And he was actually very rude to me. He was like, he only did the meeting for me as a favor, right? And it was like, and he said at the beginning, I don't do webinars, but because of Bob, I just want to understand what you have, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of that meeting, he said to me, I'm going to introduce you to my human resource person. I'm going to introduce you to my sales and marketing team. So it wasn't about him using it, but because he's a CEO, he sees the bigger picture, right?
Sure.
I'll give you one other example, right? Is in Dallas, right? Microsoft has an office where they sell leads to car dealerships. And I did a presentation for the gentleman in charge of that with 29 people of a sales team. And so I did the demo, and he went to Microsoft, who obviously uses Teams to do their presentations. And he bought 29 licenses. Microsoft did, not him personally, for his sales team. Now, we're not replacing Teams during that CEO's board meeting, but at the end of the day, our technology is going to be used to sell Microsoft, right?
Great. Yeah.
So that's what I meant. So
Yeah,
with our
it's
company,
it's a broader appeal. Yeah, I know you cast the net, hope that it sprays everywhere. Sure, and it might for the right
Correct.
situation for sure.
so that's what I meant is like if you're a Fortune 1000 company and you've done an annual contract with Zoom or an annual contract with Microsoft Teams and you're integrated, you're not leaving them to go to pitch, but we will, because we have no integration required, no access to their databases, no security issues, is we will take over the human resource department. We will take over the sales and marketing. That's where we fit in. We're not trying to say, give us 1,000 licenses, but let us be effective in the departments that we can actually show up immediately. And the other thing scenario, and I'm sure Al will share that with you, let's say you never use the service. You never sign up for it because you say personally you don't have a need for it. But every single time that you refer somebody to us, even though you've never been a customer, never paid us a dime, we actually do say thank you by paying you real cash. We don't give you a nice email, right? We actually pay you for every single referral that you ever give us, because that's our go-to-market strategy. Is the best person in the world is a satisfied customer who wants to tell somebody else. And we look at every single person who wants to tell somebody else, whether they're using the product or not using the product, to be able to say thank you. So again, I just wanted to make sure we don't normally talk about that side of the business on these training phone calls, but for someone like yourself with your contacts and your resources, that could be as valuable to you and valuable to us and valuable to Al as maybe the product itself.
No, it's good. It's good to know. Good to know.
All right. Thank you for letting us use you and letting me refer to you during the meeting. It kind of personalizes it, and hopefully I made you smile once or twice. Okay?
Yeah, that's good. I've got to run. I got another meeting, but I really appreciate it. Thanks for that, Steve. Thanks, Al.
All right. As did you. All right. Anybody else have anything else they want me to cover today? Otherwise, I know it's a double training today, so I'm sorry, we're not trying to wear you out. And today is, what is today? Today's Thursday, right? Is today Thursday? Okay. Okay, good. Go ahead. Kristen?
Kristen,
Sorry.
yep, yep.
Kristen, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Did I miss the point where if you're creating a video, like a 1-minute video for a business prospect, where to get their voice? Did you say you could play part of a video or something, or?
Yeah. So let me tell you what I do. If, let's say, for instance, it's somebody who's not famous, but how do I get their voice, right? I usually go to social media. I'll go to their Facebook page. I'll go to Instagram. I'll go to YouTube to see if there is a recording of them anywhere that I can do. And so that if it's not there, then I'm pretty much at the end of my rope, right? But excuse me, if I can get a 30-second clip from YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or Facebook in that perspective, then I go to a website. Let me see if I have it up here today. find it. And it's a free website, or it's not free anymore. Now it's $5 a month. It's this site right here. Let me share that for you. And this is my secret sauce here. And this will take any YouTube video and convert it to an MP3. And an MP3 is an audio file that uses on our system. But what's really nice, let's say there's a 2-hour YouTube video. I copy and paste the URL in here. I hit trim, and trim allows me to take 30 seconds of it, or 45 seconds of it, or 10 seconds of it. So I'm not uploading too big a file into our system. And that 30 seconds will work like magic. So it's called Easy CONV, standing for convert. Easy CONV. That's the link in that perspective. You guys can see it.
.com.
No, actually, I'll put it in the chat for you.
Okay, super. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and the reason you have to pay, they charge you $5 to upgrade it to do the trimming. It used to be completely free, but they added that. But let me find the chat here. Here it is, and let me put that in for you. And so I'm one of my specialties is finding all these free sites to use these crazy things that make us look good. It should be there now. Go ahead, Daryl.
Well, thank you, Steve. This has been a great presentation. I watched a couple days ago for the first time, and I'm working with a lady. I thought I need to record this and show it to her. She's actually a client of mine, and I'm good at telling on myself and laughing at myself. I failed to hit the record button. Is there a replay of today available? Because this is really good.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't record it. I should have. Usually, Harry will sometimes put a whisper in my ear, record. But if he does it, I usually just forget, and that's it.
Okay. Great job all the way around. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Sometimes, the greatest challenge is I personally hate to be repetitive, right? I hate to say the same thing, and I know so that's why, frequently I don't take it from the top, because I feel, oh my God, there's so many people on and they've heard me say this before and they probably have something better to do with their time. So, but I'm glad you appreciate it. Gail, and then Harry.
Hey, Steve. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Can we use our platform like Loom? That other company, Loom? We can do the same thing on here on Pxch like we do with Loom.
Yeah. So what's great is, remember, you don't have to use an avatar. I always go avatar, but the truth is, especially like Loom and Vidyard, you could just go in. Like, remember, I went into that meeting in this demo by myself, right? So I could literally hit record, and I could bring up an interactive website, and you're so much better than Loom, so much better than Vidyard. And for those of you that don't know what that is, there's two companies, and they do the same thing. And together combined, they have 37.5 million customers paying between $20 and $25 a month to make a recording and have the website behind them in the recording. That's it. You can't touch the website. You can't purchase anything. So people always think we're the Zoom killer. I really think once people are aware, it's Loom and Vidyard that are running for the hills, right? Because you could do the exact same thing, in our platform in a more effective way. So anyway, yes, I think we need to emphasize that more, Gail, that we have that capability, and the fact that you can do it with an avatar or do it live, right, is pretty remarkable. But yeah, I think our 1-minute videos are the Loom killers in that perspective. And just so you know, you're not limited to 1 minute. It's just for those of you that have not been in sales and marketing a long time, every minute over a minute is 1 second less chance that person is going to move forward, because people just won't give you that much time, right? In a social media world, no matter how good you think your 2 minutes are, right? They don't, right? And so what I always say is go the equivalent. Think you're driving down the highway, okay? And the car in front of you has a bumper sticker, and on the highway is a billboard. The billboard has a lot of text. The bumper sticker has one sentence, right? Maybe 3 words. Which one are you going to remember? And saying that's the marketing world we live in today, right? We're a bumper sticker society, you know? And so think of that 3-minute speech that you wanted to give them is because they love the 1-minute one so much, you're going to reach out and get an opportunity to talk to them.
Okay.
So I can tell you this too, and why our technology is so great is we have an opportunity to meet one of the most famous marketing people today. His name is Alex Hormozy. And so I created a 1-minute video for him, right, to surprise him. And when I was doing research on him, I didn't realize, because I didn't know him that well, his #1 sales business presentation is whenever you ask for a sale or ask for a call to action, if it doesn't happen in 60 seconds, he says it's not happening at all. He says the minute you hit 61 seconds, and he uses this number, and I don't know how he got it, you have a 397% decline in conversions beyond 60 seconds. So our technology changes that whole, our technology changes any opportunity into less than 60 seconds. It turns it into real time in the moment. That's what Loom can't do. That's what Vidyard can't do. That's what Zoom can't do. So very real by some of the smartest people, you know, in the industry. Gail, did you have a follow-up question?
Yes, thank you. One quick question on you were just talking to the gentleman Larry about he could be like a referral partner for us. So that means he doesn't a person doesn't have to sign up. So what is that? We just send them our link. Of course, they've seen the demo, and then we just send them our link, or what? Thank you.
I mean, we need him to sign up, but not to use the product or to pay us money, right? We need him to sign up so we can pay him, so we know who he is, right? In that perspective. So on our site, right? I'll go to the main site here. Okay. Can you guys see that? Am I sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I go to the pricing page, right? So here's all the paid plans, right? Individual plans, business plans. Right here under the rewards program, you hit the join now button, and this is where you can sign up for free.
Got it. Thank you.
And we made it that way because beginning we had the free plan up here mixed in, and so many people signed up for free and they thought it was Zoom. Where's my free service? Right? I know you didn't sign up for that, you know. So that's why we try to differentiate it. So because I could tell you in reality, most people who sign up for free because they're not using, as we like to teach, if you're not using the product, you can't use Talk Demo. So how effective is it to say, I just saw this great product. Oh, really? Are you using it? No. So I'm saying, so even though it has that great concept for the exceptions of the world who really will refer it, but really don't have a use case of it, for a lot of people, signing up for free was a way to say, no, thank you. Right? But they made the person feel better, right? I'll sign up for free, you know, just in case I refer anybody, right? So, but in reality, that was the nicest way to say no, right? You say no by saying yes, right? And so just the other thing why that's very important is influencers, right? Influencers sell 20 different companies' products a month, and they don't use all the products, but they're certainly powerful at doing it. So we wanted to make sure that they didn't have to pay us in order to sell for us, right? Because they look at us like we're crazy, right? So the free program really was designed for those two groups, right? Not necessarily for the person who doesn't have the idea that someone doesn't have $25, right? And they're going to refer 3 people, and you know, all of a sudden, just that whole concept. I'm saying in the real world doesn't really happen, even though it's nice to say that we allow those possibilities. Denise, you have a question, right?
Yeah, I did, on just the backgrounds and like the functionality. I know that's something that's been in the works to get that better.
Right.
When are we expecting to see that kind of upgrade? Is that in a couple of weeks from now, 2-3 weeks from now?
No, remember, I keep saying that we're going to be upgrading the platform very soon. It'll be part of that upgrade. If you notice, do you like my background?
Yes. Yours
Okay,
works
well,
great, but every time I try it, it's, you know, I get the blurry halo thing and, you know, that kind of
no, you're not. I'm saying because this is what we're testing on the new technology. You
got it. Okay.
So let me just say this.
I could tell who's on this meeting who has a background because you can see the blurry halo. Yeah.
Correct.
I was gonna say, I do see it, but it's okay. I've tried it too.
Sure. So let me say 2 things, right? In our current technology, if you're in a perfect storm of perfect lighting, perfect colors, and all that perspective, yes, yours would look like this. The reality is, right, we can't control that. And so it's a new technology, I'm saying, to be able to try to create this. And so the reason we're testing it and the reason we're just not automatically saying we're going to do it is every time you do things like this, it consumes a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure, right, that everyone having a pretty background doesn't make everyone freeze, right? So so it's always that testing, right, of everything. You don't want those unintended consequences, right?
No,
of
I get it. I
solving
just keep my office clean. That's all I have to do, which I don't
and
usually
create
do.
a-
So
Correct. So
you need to
the
be-
other difference is so people will say, oh, how come Zoom doesn't have that issue, right? Zoom doesn't have that issue because you're downloading their application onto your computer. So they
Yeah.
can approach it from a completely different process. When you're
Yeah.
browser based, like we are, because it's always people go, oh, I'm so glad that I don't have to download your software, right? But like I say, there's always a price to pay for it, right? And so one of the things is virtual backgrounds. One of the things is sometimes people will have you notice it doesn't happen very often anymore, but sometimes someone say my audio doesn't work, right? Because your microphone, you have 10 apps open and your microphone is still attached to the last one, right? And so everything, right, has its plus and minuses. And what our team is really good at figuring out is, okay, what's the minus and how do we attack it, and make it better in that perspective. So if anyone doesn't have any other questions, once again, we have a special training coming up on Saturday. If you weren't aware, Harry, Gary, whoever saying wants to just set that up for everyone to understand how that training is different than these trainings, how that training is different than last Saturday's training, and what those expectations are.
Gary, go ahead.
You're on mute, Gary.
You're muted.
Gary, you're on mute.
All right. Sorry about that. Anyways, this Saturday, we're going to do a special training. And what I think is really exciting is that we've got a global expansion team of leaders, and this is going to continue to expand as time goes on, who are all joining together, working together to helping each other. So the idea is we want to help you be able to get your Basic 5 on board, Basic 5 members, active members on board this month into September. Because as we finish out this month and as we go into September, which is one of the best months of the year in our industry, this is what helps you propel your business. If you think about how do you create mini momentums within your business for October and November and December and right through the end of the year and put yourself in a great position as we start the new year, it all starts with something like this. So this Pro Pitch training that we're going to be doing this Saturday with leaders coming together, working, are going to help you with how do you talk to people, right? We always talk about how important it is to know what to say, how to say it, how to set up 10-minute demos. It's going to be a Q&A. So we want you to come with your questions, any challenges, obstacles, whatever you might be running into. This is where you get valuable information. So it's going to be 10 o'clock Saturday. I believe there'll be some information coming out on WhatsApp today, later this afternoon. So check that. Make sure, by the way, all of you are on WhatsApp with the company's Pxch Success Academy so that you get these announcements, you get these links, you get the videos that are coming out. Make sure everybody in your team has got them too. And I would suggest that you promote everybody on your team to make sure they're there on Saturday. So I would say clear your calendar, do whatever you have to do. It's going to be 1 hour, 10 to 11. You can be sitting on the beach. You can be sitting in your house, wherever you are. It doesn't make any difference. You can plug right in, and we're really looking forward to it. I know Harry's been a huge in terms of helping to orchestrate this, put this together. Ray, myself, Rick Amigo. So it's going to be a great session this particular Saturday. Again, 10 o'clock Eastern time, and look for the link that's coming out later today.
All right. Thank you very much.
Harry, do you want to add anything to that?
No, that was great, Gary. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Listen, great training today. I'm saying double training today. Thank God I have tonight off. But again, anyone needs, send a text, send an email, send a carrier pigeon. Don't worry, somebody will reach back out to you. Okay. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and we'll hopefully see you guys on Saturday. Thank you so much. All righty.